Welcome back to the show, everyone. Craig and Jonah, we're here bright and early, even on Labor Day, so
That's true.
we don't sleep in. We got important stuff to talk about here. Excuse me. So today's topic is we haven't picked on old Christopher West in a while, and it seemed like it was a good time to do that. So his Theology of the Body Institute has a pretty good sized YouTube page. I think they have around 77,000 subscribers. And one of his videos came up in my feed the other day and I clicked on it. It's how to share your porn struggle with the woman you love. I thought, well, this ought to be interesting. Not necessarily helpful, but I knew it would be at least interesting.
I was slow there. I should have got you on that one.
So anyway, so I was like, all right, I should probably check this one out. So and he's got some other people that help him. I'm not sure who this woman is, but we're gonna play a few minutes. Maybe we'll start and stop it and give some commentary on it. But the as I understand it, she's a Catholic, and I think she's a marriage and relationship therapist or something. I think I caught a wedding ring on her finger, so I assume she's married.
Yeah, if she's not married, I wouldn't really trust her as far as giving advice. People give a lot of advice, but marriage is something that you need experience in,
especially this topic. So
if she's divorced, though, I guess,
I guess I'm guessing she's dyed in the wool, Theology of the Body, Catholic. So we're gonna play a little bit of it, and wanted to talk about it. So let me get this going here.
So right at the outset of this video, I want to start by saying, women, I understand that this is not just a man's struggle. Pornography is not just something that men struggle with. Just as many women, or close to just as many women, struggle with pornography and masturbation also. And
I mean,
did you guys get that? Let me play that. I'm gonna play that again.
We need a remix.
I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play that little section again. Listen carefully.
So right at the outset of this video, I want to start by saying, women, I understand that this is not just a man's struggle. Pornography is not just something that men struggle with. Just as many women, or close to just as many women, struggle with pornography and masturbation also. And I know that that is an issue. I see you. But
I don't know. Maybe she hangs out with a wild crowd.
Yeah. She looks kind of sketchy.
We don't mean that, but I don't know. Based on like Father Longenecker's, estimates, I would just doubt that the numbers are similar. I mean, maybe it's just that she has if she's seen 10 women come to her, they need help, whereas maybe the 10 guys that struggle with this don't really go to her. They go to confession.
Well, I did have an uncharitable thought as I was hearing her and considering Father Longenecker's comments, that I suppose it's possible that women are not as forthright about this particular thing in the confessional as men are. I don't know.
That's true.
So,
wow.
The only way
deception in the confessional.
Yeah, the only way to know, ladies, is for you to comment below and tell us whether it happens and whether you say it in confession.
It's true. Yeah. Or if you know about your wife, I don't know. I'd be kind of surprised if it was even Steven.
And granted, their audience is not necessary. I I have to think their audience is pretty much Catholic people. I don't know too many non-Catholics that are going to be watching the Theology of the Body Institute, but if you do, I have a lot of questions for you. But this is single people, and they do target non-married people, which, not that we don't target that, but that's just not the people that we can relate to so much.
So you're saying masturbators are attracted to his show? Just like flies to the butter dish on the table in the summer,
Well, there's got to be a few in that 77,000.
He talks about it a lot.
Yeah. as a former. As it hadn't been the last hour before the show, something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I would not be surprised if the statistics are on in the modern world with the pornography and social media. I would not be surprised if young women are doing this more frequently than historically.
I bet it's the people that are coming to her need help versus I don't know. I bet it's something like that. And it'd be great to figure out who her, group that she works with, like the reasons why they struggle with that. Like, Long and Egger talked about the reasons that people might struggle with this. And I don't know. It's interesting that she would say even Stephen on that. I don't know.
Yeah, when she said that, I had the same reaction you do when I first saw that. And to the extent where if you go to, I'll link to this YouTube, and if you go down there, you'll find my personal comment on there. I just said I said that we had a priest on who told us it was 50% of men and 1 in 20 women. And I said, unless women are greatly under confessing this sin, for all practical purposes, this is a man's issue. No, that's probably an overstatement, but it's gotten a lot of likes. I think that's
even among the masturbators out there.
Yeah, we're not the only ones that feel that way. So anyway,
all right. Well,
if you're following this channel and have some feedback, other than we haven't heard from Barry.
Yeah, Barry, comment.
Yeah, let us know, Barry. We need to poll the women that and find out. So we're going to continue on here.
This video in particular, I'm talking about how men can tell the woman that they love about their pornography struggles. And I think the way that women go about those sorts of conversations are different than men. And in some ways, the struggle is a little bit different for women. So I will be doing a video at some point about women and pornography struggles, but I am going to be primarily addressing men. All right, men. So this is one of those things. I'm sure you're here because you want me to give you an easy answer. This is one of those things I think people want an easy out on. You recognize on some level how hurt your beloved is going to be about this, and you want to try to ease their pain a bit. And I'm just going to be frank with you. There really is no easy way to have this conversation.
No, I'll tell you what. I wouldn't start out with porn. You just tell her your struggles going solo, and then that's how you started out. You sure don't start out saying, well, there are times when I'd rather just go and watch the electronic, sorts of activities going on. I would just, if I am not a counselor, I don't have any degrees or anything in marital counseling or anything like that. But I would say starting out by talking about solo activity would be a much more reasonable route than just leading off with, playing your highest card.
Yeah, I had the same reaction, and that's sort of as we get further into her video, that's one of the points that one of the reasons I really want to make this video is that I think it's a mistake for us to treat porn and masturbation as the same thing, even though they often occur together. I think it's a mistake to treat them the same way and to lump them in, and I think in some ways, what she says now and what she goes on to say, and just the whole, there was, what was the one porn, not a sacrilege of heaven. What was it? Forget what
it's
it was.
A mockery of
heaven. That's what it was. I think.
What if it's a husband and wife taping it together? Shouldn't it be beautiful?
Yeah.
Really, and I'm just saying, it's treated as a heavenly experience. So why can't you record it? I'm not saying porn, but I'm just saying like a husband and wife,
right.
It's not exactly a mockery, I don't think.
Well, I don't think it has to be, but I think that kind of language sets women up, for example, to be very, very bothered and hurt,
triggered when you talk about
and
it.
husbands or
Like,
boyfriends or whatever say they have this problem. And I think, and that's one of the main reasons I want to make this video, is I think they are not helping that. They are making this process more intimidating, because the reaction is going to be,
you're mocking heaven.
yeah. So I think it's an important point to keep in mind here.
This is a tough conversation. And when I was praying about this, what I really wanted to tell you about how to do it is honestly kind of be like that Shia LaBeouf video and just do it.
Do it! Just do it!
You just got to do it. You just got to tell her. I would say don't wait. Don't wait until the perfect time. There will never be one. Don't wait.
Oops.
Hello.
I hit the wrong.
I would say though that is just not good advice on how to open up and talk about it. I mean, man, you're playing your highest card and you're gonna get like a cold reaction, I would say, if you just lead off with that.
Well, and I think one of the things, I feel like there needs to be a video, and I don't think I watched the whole video, but there needs to be a video on women, how to receive this conversation, because I think that's so much of it.
It's probably easier to just get caught doing it. I mean, I'm just saying, then
yeah, how does it organically come up? I mean, it just,
yeah, like you're sitting there over breakfast. Well, honey, last night I was,
yeah. Well, and I think it's a difference. I mean, it's a different situation if you are single and versus married, but let's just talk about the married people. This is the kind of conversation that we put off for too long, or I put off for too long.
not porn.
No. But the solo stuff. But part of the problem is that you can't bring it up when they're angry, because it's not gonna be a good time to have that conversation. And who the heck wants to bring it up when everything is going good? Like, it's just like,
maybe a better solution might be, you're sitting at your computer, be like, hey honey, come and check this out.
what do you think?
I mean, that'd get the ball rolling at least. I don't know. Like if you really want to have the conversation with, because there's the element of surprise there that's gonna.
Well, maybe that's what we have to do. We have a few minutes before we wrap this video. Before we wrap this video up, maybe we'll give people some advice on how we think is the right way to have it. So,
because I'm not sure, but just leading it off like that with a cold open.
Well, let's get back to her video.
Wait a super long time into the relationship. Even though it's scary to have this conversation, the longer that you wait, the more betrayed she's going to feel that it's been going on during the relationship. So as early as you are comfortable, have the conversation. I don't think it needs to be something that you talk about before you're in a commitment with her, but as soon as you get into a commitment with her, any of that time is fair game to communicate it to her. And I also...
On the first date, well, I'm a porn watcher, so I don't know, how you feel about that, or you watch porn, or, you can help me out with that. Terrible advice. Well, and she said not to do it, so that is good advice, I guess. I'm sorry. She was right, but it's just funny that you'd even have to bring that up, because
that seems kind of self-obvious.
Yeah, you're out at the Olive Garden having a lovely time. Yep, I'm a porn watcher. Where do you get your porn from?
Yeah, just trying to find things that we have in common.
What kind do you like best?
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It seems like that's got to be a pretty small problem that you got to warn people.
Yeah, so I was wrong when I said it's terrible advice, because it's actually excellent advice. But yeah, you're right. You wouldn't think you'd have to really tell people that.
I really want to encourage you not to hide behind some easier ways to kind of soften the blow, like abstractly saying, I struggle with lust, or lust is a sin that I have issues with, or that sort of thing. No, you need to just say it. You need to just come out and say, I struggle with pornography and masturbation. This is something that I am working.
I would say start with a back rub. If you're gonna do something like that,
Warm up.
You really work into it. Yep, get real good solid back rub, and then you just say, that might be a good time to do it. Or I don't know. I wouldn't do a cold open like that.
Maybe she's like, how was your week? Well, let's see. I had a really tough meeting at work in my
So to burn off some steam.
yeah, we had we had our softball team did good and changed the oil in the car and I was masturbating and got golf game tomorrow. Seems she's really listening.
I just put that in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, I've been telling you for years.
You better record that conversation because she'll deny hearing it later on. Plus, you're gonna probably want that reaction anyway. You're gonna.
I don't know. I don't like the cold open style for that. You know, like,
I don't know if there's a good way to do it.
it's true. I don't know.
Let's see what else she has.
On. Well, actually, you know what? That's another point. If you are not working on it, if it is something that you've never told anybody, if watching this video maybe even is the first acknowledgement that you've ever given to this is something that is a part of your life and you don't like it, I really want to encourage you to get help. Some of you may know that I am a marriage and family therapist. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I studied pornography and pornography addiction and the way that pornography affects the
I'm sorry to laugh, but just when anybody says I've studied pornography,
Yeah.
I know lots of guys that have studied pornography.
Yeah.
I mean, I had some roommates in college that were like, they probably could have had a PhD in pornography.
I have. Debating whether to share this story. I'll share it. I can.
And you guys know who you are.
Yeah. Put it on your resume and everything.
I've studied lots of pornography.
I got a used computer from a priest one time,
Yeah.
and he gave me the computer. He's like, "Oh, by the way, there may be some inappropriate sites in there." He's like, "I counsel guys that are going through this, and so I have to go check them out." And I'm like,
Risky move, I think.
I don't know. It just seemed like an odd comment to me.
That is an odd comment.
It seems like an odd way of it. It reminds me of. In the news the other day, there was this lady who says she's a sex therapist and she fixed your marriage by having sex with your spouse. I'm just like, I don't know if that's the way you do it.
Boy, there's some real smooth talkers today. I'll tell you what, like, but that too, if you're the husband in that situation, well, honey, she can really fix all this.
I'm willing to take one for the team here.
I mean, does she have any testimonials? Like, oh, yep, she screwed my husband and fixed our marriage.
Never been better. Yeah.
I don't know. Oh,
So
and I studied that a lot in graduate school. And I am here to tell you
I am curious now what the graduate school program is and what they if like stick people or what the course materials look like for how you study porn.
at the graduate level, so you got a 500 to 700 level class on pornography. I don't know what that looks like either. Be like Pee Wee Herman in the movie theater, like. Although I know a guy that he went to a Catholic university and he took some kind of sexual studies class, and it's probably one of these liberal Catholic universities, but they had to make it. They did. They delved into all that and like videos and like they had like diaries of their activities and everything. But
I mean, it is one of those things that whether we like it or not, it's real and it's out there, and it is something that it is hard because how do you become reasonably knowledgeable about something like this? I don't know how you do it.
yeah, well, mom and dad, I'm gonna go to a 4-year university and I'm gonna get a degree in pornography.
Yeah, that's right.
Not the production of it. I just want to study it.
Yeah, gonna study it. I don't know. Well, we'll let her.
That's such a funny statement, though. In graduate school studying porn.
It is a real struggle that is very likely not going to be something you can battle on your own. The way that the brain is affected by pornography, I don't want to get into all of the neuroscience, but I will say that the reward pathway, it's called the mesolimbic dopaminergic reward pathway in your brain that is triggered by pornography. It's the same one that's triggered by cocaine use. The brain latches onto pornography, and it's something that is kind of difficult to break in a habit. So I want to encourage you to get help. That is definitely something that is important. And I would encourage you to do that before you tell your beloved, or at least be ready to do it as soon as you tell her. That's going to be one of her questions, I am.
Well, honey, I've been getting treatment for porn. I think that makes it worse.
Yeah.
That makes it sound like it's a real problem versus you just like casually, looking at it online.
Well, I'm gonna let her talk here for another like 30 seconds or 40 seconds, and then I have a theory or comment, that I think how I think we address the porn issue a little bit just within Catholic circles. So let's let her finish up here.
Or what are you doing to fix it? And I think a lot of men are like, I can do it myself. There's this bravado that men bring to the table, and they're like, I don't need help. I shouldn't need help. I can do it on my own. The reality is that the way that your brain is wired and the way that the enemy has allowed pornography to invade our culture right now, it is really hard to do it by yourself. So tell someone else, even if it's a male friend, that can help you to get the professional help that you need. But tell someone you cannot fight this in the dark. And the flip side of that is, I think that one of the things that Satan tells people.
I do want to say one thing. Go ahead.
I'm not sure that that's true. I mean, because that you can't fight it on your own or whatever. Like, I don't know. And I've never, I don't know. It's not like it's something that people talk about all the time, but I mean, it's not like I never saw anything. And I mean, maybe I just never became addicted or whatever. I don't know. I mean, but
I think it does depend on your level of dependency, but I think that's one of the problems we have as Catholics is there's not a good space to talk about it. That I think when people start engaging in that, there just isn't a good way that you can talk about it with other people in Catholic circles. And so it probably just goes unresolved or undiagnosed for a long time. But yeah, I just think, when I was kind of researching this issue.
You're researching porn too?
Well, I was researching, but again, I was researching places for some of the other issues.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And the only stuff that you really find that's sort of Catholic oriented is these counseling places for addicts. And I never really viewed it as an addiction problem so much as just, how do you get help? And I think they just, I don't know. It seemed like the barrier to entry to getting some kind of decent assistance with this is very high. The one thing I will say I agree with her that I've heard from other places is that for guys that have porn issues, I think they say it's best not to have your spouse or your wife be the your accountability partner, so to speak, that it should be another guy.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on your spouse, probably.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, if she's going to talk about your concupiscence or whatever else,
yeah.
Just pick somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
yeah. All right.
When they struggle with pornography, men in particular, is that everyone's doing it, so it's not a big deal. And if you're just telling your beloved in a perfunctory way, like, I do this, but you shouldn't worry about it, that's also something that I want to challenge. As a clinician, as a marriage and family therapist, I view pornography and masturbation use as infidelity. And here's why. You may
That was the quote that caused me to send this video to you.
And the problem with that is that I would say in most, married Catholic men's minds, they really are thinking about their wives, or they want to do those things with their wives, and they're probably limited to some degree as far as why they can't do that. There might be barriers as far as in the relationship, or just they have too much going on, too many kids, whatever. And it's not really like they want to cheat on their wife with something electronic. It's just it's a weak substitute, but they're really looking for that kind of experience with their wife.
Right. Well,
I mean, I don't know.
I think there's so many problems with what she says there, and that's one of them. But when you say that, and this is part of the problem, is the video is porn and masturbation. Again, they lump them together, and I think that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're different issues. But when you combine porn and masturbation and compare those to infidelity, number one, that's just not accurate.
No, I mean, there's no way that she's going to be as hurt by that, or you would be as the man, hurt by them watching porn and masturbating versus having an affair.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be, but I think this type of messaging sets Catholic women up to have that type of reaction.
Yeah.
And that reaction is, I think, one of the reasons why their husbands are not going to bring this up to them.
Oh, if you knew that your wife was going to say that you cheated on her,
yes.
Yeah, there's no way you'd talk about it, really.
So,
because it's not like because like I said, I think that it's more than likely due to a lack of intimacy in their own marriage, that's associated with this, at least somewhat causing it.
And I think that the porn issue, for Catholics at least, gets associated with masturbation for two reasons. Number one, when we treat them equal, and I'm not even here to comment on the morality of them. We have 2352 in the Catechism that talks about masturbation, but when a Catholic guy, let's say, is struggling with masturbation, if he's trying to be a good Catholic, he's like, I got to go to confession now anyway. What's to stop that guy from just using porn and making masturbation easier?
Suppose it's just like adding salt or hot sauce to a meal.
I think so. I mean,
you're already eating it. I guess it's funny.
If he's told that what he's done is already a mortal sin, so to speak, and he's going to have to go to confession, I think you've eliminated at least some of the deterrent to engaging in porn is associated with that. So that's why I really dislike the pairing those two together all the time, because I think it's counterproductive. If our goal is to limit how many people use porn and how frequently people masturbate, I think if we can treat them separate, I think
I mean, they really are separate issues. I agree. I mean, they tend to go together, but not always. I mean, and there could be some people that just watch porn. I don't know who that would be, but
well, and I was sharing this video with my wife the other day, and she was asking like this. I said, so the circle of people that, let's say, are cheaters, like true cheaters, they're having affairs, let's say, is this small circle. Every single one of the guys that's in that small circle is also masturbating and using porn.
It's possible. I mean, it'd be the high 90s. High 90s are. I'll give you that. There might be some one.
What would be so there's some guy that's like, you know what? The church tells me I can't masturbate, but I'm going to go ahead and have an affair.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. As far as statistically, for 100% of the population be doing that, it's a high percentage.
99.9%.
Sure.
All right.
Give me the one guy in 1,000 then.
Yeah. So you got. I don't think that guy exists either. You got this small circle of guys that are doing all those terrible things.
Good.
I think you got a bigger circle of guys that are masturbating and using porn, but are not using, but are not cheating on their wives. They're not having affairs, and that's a much bigger circle, I would say. Probably.
And then there's people that don't use porn, but still
that are masturbating. All the people that are.
We need the masturbator Venn diagram.
Yeah, it is. Again, I can't think of too many guys that are watching porn that aren't masturbating because of it, but imagine those poor
they're a frustrated group, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, those guys that are seed retention guys, if they're doing it
Oh God.
porn use is be a remarkable feat, but
you never know, those people like to punish themselves.
Yeah. Like listen to this podcast, something like that. But so I think that by treating them the same, we don't really help any of them in those different groups. The guys that are having affairs are not going to be persuaded by anything she says about theology of the body. They're not going to give up porn and masturbation.
They might feel some remorse. I don't know.
If you're one of those guys, comment below.
They're people too, Craig.
Yeah.
You don't know what kind of situations they have in there.
All right.
I'm not defending them, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
They could have remorse.
So I think that in sort of, you kind of alluded to this already, but and let's just limit this to the context of the Catholic married couple. I think that Catholic men that are using porn are, how do I say this? Are probably using porn because it's the only thing available. And if given the option to, let's say, enjoy a home video.
Oh, so I didn't know you were going to go there.
Yeah. I'm full of surprises.
Yeah, I don't know. There's really no, if you did make a home video, I don't know if that would be illicit or illicit or not. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure
just to like set the mood. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure they would say don't do it for masturbation purposes, but as a mood setter or I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying that because they like to say, well, even if masturbation isn't wrong itself, it's always associated with lust or masturbation, and those are wrong. Like, well, it doesn't have to be. I mean, I think it is because most guys are not going to ask their wives, hey, can we make a home video so I can use it later on? So you're by definition using stuff that's on the internet.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, I just think that I think we would be much further ahead if we could, for Catholics a special way, if we stopped equating these things with infidelity. First of all, I don't think that's helpful. I don't like that she says that, because that makes the difficulty of having this conversation that much worse.
Yeah.
But I also think it makes it more difficult for the guys that are going to struggle with masturbation to kick porn habits if they're basically viewed as, you're just as guilty whether you use it or not, so why not? I
mean, do you think in her counseling sessions, if the guy admits to doing that or she admits to doing that, she says it's half the people, so like, man, everybody's cheating on each other in there,
right?
Do you think, I don't know, that would just come off as strange, I think, if you were accused of that, even though, because I don't think that's really in their mind as far as when they're doing that,
right? Well, and she says, well, don't treat it like, well, everyone's doing it. And I'm not suggesting that. I'm not saying we have to be like, just whitewash it and say it's all fine. But I think you can take it down a notch and stop talk about it as a common problem that it is, recognize it for what it is, and that for most people it's something that they don't want to do and are going to try and overcome. But the key to, I think, for married people, for married guys, the key to getting past this problem at some point in time involves his wife knowing about it, being sensitive to it, and helping you with that problem, which for a lot of guys is probably just more frequent intimacy.
It's true. Yeah, and I think that's the way to lead off the conversation, is to talk about that.
Yeah.
Just then, if eventually it might come up, and she might ask if you looked at that too. But it's better to talk about the solo activity first.
Here's our, I think, our tip that's different from theirs, and I think we've said this before. The very best thing that could happen is for any women that hear this, wives that hear this, to ask your husband about this, and whether it's a struggle with them, for them, and be prepared to hear that it is, and to avoid.
And if you talk to them without judgment, I mean, I think that'll go a long way.
Yeah. So this video is for all the Catholic wives out there, that if you have not had this conversation with your husband, or don't know, there's a really good chance that he's had some struggle with this in the past, and is probably afraid to talk to you about it. And you could do a very heroic thing, a good thing for your marriage, to just come out and ask him. And if he first denies it, I mean, don't cross-examine him, don't start calling him a liar and stuff like that, but just press a little bit.
So these are some stats to think about. So 65% of married women report never watching pornography. And for men, that number is only 37% as far as never. So it's just something to consider. I mean, it's not like it's uncommon. I mean, it's definitely something that could be going on in your house. I mean, and not to say it's right at all, but it's worth having the conversation.
The conversation is much more like, and I think whether or when this conversation occurs is greatly going to be impacted by whether that husband believes that he can talk about this without being severely judged, or worse. And if he's not sure whether his wife can handle it, he's probably not going to bring it up. And so, wives, somehow make it clear to your husband that he could share this with you.
And the thing is that it's really, I doubt that he really wants to do any of this. So that's an important thing to keep in mind, because really, I would say pretty much all men desire intimacy with their wives.
If he genuinely prefers that stuff over intimacy with you, there's probably issues here, that there's deeper issues that need to be resolved.
It's true.
And but the odds are he does prefer intimacy with you, and he's scared, or doesn't feel like it's available as often as he would like. And if you can start that conversation, holy cow, you can really make a difference in his life. So,
and probably, just think, I mean, it could end up great, since like we know that a large percentage of men, and apparently a reasonable percentage of women, use it. If you find out you're both doing the solo stuff, maybe you can just work it out organically. I mean, that would be,
it would be really good if you could.
That would be a more ideal situation. Because like, well, that's an easy fix.
If you're both doing this secretly, stop.
Yep.
Stop doing this.
That's why communication is key. You can work it all out.
And it is easier said than done. It is key, but you really need to do it. And guys, if you're too scared to talk about it, I get it. You're gonna have to find a way to bring it up,
or get caught,
or get caught. Yeah, if you wanna, maybe we'll start selling how to get caught kits. Here's the plan. But please share this with wives. because you are really the person that can help fix this problem sooner rather than later. So,
all right,
makes sense.
that's good advice.
All right. Well, till next time, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks.